Welcome to Fortress of Faith with Tom Wallace, calling North America to repentance and revival.
Welcome back to the Corner of Truth and Courage. You're listening to Fortress of Faith. This is Tom Wallace. I want today to give you some evidence and arguments that will stand even in a court of law to prove that there are some sections of Muslims and Islam that have come to America to destroy us from within. There is literally evidence that you could take to the courtroom, and it has already been taken to the courtroom. And the stuff has been used back in the days of when George Bush was our president. Some of this stuff is a bit dated, but it is still powerful, and I wish more people knew about it and was aware of the assault that is here in our country to try to destroy us from within. And so we're going to take a look at the Muslim Brotherhood. We're going to look at their operators that they have in our nation that are operating right in the open. You'll be surprised at how open they are, and yet they conceal and have successfully concealed, for the most part, to America, to the nation, their ultimate goal. So we're going to get into that today, and I'm going to make available this evidence to you just simply for the asking. I've had this stuff in my files for some time, and just going through some things, it was like, wow, you know what? I've almost forgotten about this stuff. So let's break into this information here today. It's better to not just have opinions, it's better to have facts. I've been on national radio for almost 15 years, and I have to be careful with what I bring online. Trust me, people are out there to try to destroy me and hang me, and one of the things they would love to do is to destroy me with my own words. So I'm very careful with what I bring to you, stuff that I know that I can back up. And this one thing here is that I find there's a lot of people who have a passion for the right thing. Their heart is right and their mind is right, and they're on the right side of the argument, but they're not using good arguments. Have you ever met people like that? They're just full of information, and some of it's just hyperbole, and it's faulty, and it's not accurate. And we lose credibility when we argue things that cannot be backed up. And so I want to give you something that will stand, okay? And it will do you good to have it in your possession and to be familiar with this piece of evidence. What am I talking about? Well, the Muslim Brotherhood has organizations that they have birthed in America. And they've come here with an agenda. Now, I've said for a long, long time that the Muslim Brotherhood is probably the most dangerous terrorist organization on the face of the earth. I think they're more dangerous than Al-Qaeda. I believe they're more dangerous than ISIS, than Hezbollah, and so on. Why? I think they're dangerous because of their tactics. These people are clever. They are not fighting their warfare with swords and guns and bombs and bullets. They created Hamas. You don't have to do much research to figure that out. It's right on the front page of the charter of Hamas, that they were started by the Muslim Brotherhood. It was a faction of the Muslim Brotherhood to bring destruction and the end of Israel and Jews. And they parked themselves right inside of Israel, in a way, in the Gaza border, and have taken over the Gaza Strip, and their mission is the destruction of Israel. They don't care about the Arabs and the Palestinians that are there. They could care less about them. They're just convenient fools and people to recruit for their cause. And so that's part of the Muslim Brotherhood. But the big part of Muslim Brotherhood is that they're acting like politicians and lawyers and teachers and bankers and businessmen. And they come to our countries wearing suits instead of suicide vests. And so they're not coming in a way to destroy us in an outward warfare. No, they're going to conceal it. It's very clever. And they've learned their game in Europe. They've learned how to manipulate Western laws in Europe and use the laws for their benefit to twist and turn things in their favor. And they have been doing that here in the United States for some time. And so how do we know that they have a mission to destroy us? Well, a piece of evidence was found by the FBI back in the 90s. The FBI was tailing a person that came into their interest, and his name was Ismail Embrace. And finally, they felt it was time to develop a search warrant, and they went into his home. And he was a school teacher of a private Islamic school in Virginia. And he was also a member of the IAP, the Islamic Association for Palestine, which later became a branch of CARE, the Council of American Islamic Relations. Well, he has another name. He's also known overseas as Abu Hassan. When the FBI searched his home, they found a secret room off the basement. And in that room was a cache of documents and money. And there's one document that was seized and has been used in court by the federal government in lawsuits against an organization that they found as a result of this memorandum. Now, the title of this memorandum is called the Explanatory Memorandum on the General Strategic Goal for the Group in North America. A long, long title. But in it, you're going to find about 20 pages in Arabic and 20 pages in English, interpreted or translated by them. There's some very, very interesting things that you'll find in there. But the big smoking gun is what we find on page number 7. And let me read to you. And basically it's explaining the goal of the group in North America, the Ikhwan. The Ikhwan that is Arabic for the brothers, meaning the Brotherhood, the Muslim Brotherhood. And it says, understanding the role of the Muslim brother in North America. Then it says this: the process of settlement is a civilization jihadist process with all the word means. The Ikhwan, meaning brothers, must understand that their work in America is a kind of grand jihad in eliminating and destroying the Western civilization from within and sabotaging its miserable house by their hands and the hands of the believers. Now, just let's pause for a moment and let's break this down. So they're saying that this settlement that they're trying to create here in America is a civilization jihadist process. In other words, they want to destroy our civilization. It's going to be done through a process. Now, first of all, you need to understand, what does the word jihad mean? Well, literally, the word jihad means the struggle against evil. And in the eyes of Islam, in the teachings of Muhammad and the Islamic teaching of their God, Allah, that anyone who is not submitted to Allah, and that's what Islam means, submission. If you will not submit to Allah, then you're the enemy of God, the enemy of Allah, and they're to war with you. You're now evil. You're the filth. There's a word that they use for us, and which basically, I'll just put it as plainly as I can, but still be PG here. It is like we're the excrement. We're the filth in the world. And once we've rid the world of the filth, then there will be peace. Once we've rid the world of all the unbelievers, then there'll be peace. So jihad is the struggle against the evil. And basically, if you get to the Sharia law, under the section of jihad, it's warfare to establish the religion. And so this is a warfare, but they're not going to fight it with bombs and bullets and with the sword. They're going to do it through other methods. And this is why I say that they're the most dangerous organization on the face of the globe. And they're going to do it by coming in as friends, as businessmen, as the people that doesn't look like they're here to destroy us, but they're here to sabotage our miserable house and destroy Western civilization from within. And so how are they going to do it? Well, they're going to use our laws against us. Now, CARE, the Council of American Islamic, by the way, on the back page, you have the list of 29 organizations that are part of their mission, part of their goal. There's about 12 of them that was started by the Muslim Brotherhood, but there are other Muslim groups here that are complicit with this goal. And so this memorandum is to all of them. And as I said, this is a powerful piece of evidence. It was used in the courts to go against what's called the Holy Land Fund Trust, as they were raising money here in America to support Hamas, which is a Muslim Brotherhood organization, as I talked about. And it never hurts to have stuff like this in your hands. When people are deniers, they say, well, that's your opinion. Where's the facts? Where's the where's the proof that these groups are wicked? And so when George Bush was our president, they began prosecuting these groups, and they started going after them. But then we had the change of election, and guess who got elected? Obama. And he stopped all that stuff, and it never picked up again. And CARE went to the courts to say, listen, we want some of these rulings that were made against us removed. And the court said, no, there's plenty of evidence that this stuff is, that you are a terrorist organization, and we're not going to. They were unindicted co-conspirators in these cases that were being prosecuted. And the courts would not remove that terminology, that statement that was made against them in the courts, so that they are co-conspirators. And sadly, the Justice Department never got around to prosecuting them. I hope that one day one of our presidents will have the courage to actually prosecute that. And another sad thing is that right now, even though other foreign governments recognize that the Muslim Brotherhood is a terrorist organization, and also CARE, the Council of American Islamic Relations, they've even entitled them as a terrorist organization, the United States has not done so yet. There have been efforts to try to get that acknowledged, but it's not been done. So if you want a copy of this, just simply email me and say, hey, Tom, send me a copy of that. We'll be glad to do so. Our email address is tom@fortressoffaith.org. Again, that's tom@fortressoffaith.org, or you can go to our website, fortressoffaith.com, and send us a message from there. Or you can give us a call and ask for a copy. We'll be glad to send that to you by email. And again, the number is 800-616-0082. That's it for today. Join us again tomorrow at the Corner of Truth and Courage. God bless you.